This is the Louie T Network. The journey is long, and nobody said it was going to be easy. But all we got is us. All that believe is us. The Redskins Report. Welcome, all my fellow Redskin brethren and sistren. I am your man and resident Redskins fan, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on the Redskins Report. I'm dressed in all black like the Omen, so you know what that means. Took one on the chin, and that was a tough one, man. I'm gonna tell you what, man. I'm so disappointed today. I really am, as I'm sure a lot of you are out there as well. I mean, that was tough to stomach last night. A lot of different emotions going through me as I watched the Redskins really come out flat last night. And I think the biggest problem I had with last night's performance wasn't the actual outcome, because that was bad in itself. And there's not a lot for me to say here. This isn't going to be a long video, isn't going to be your typical breakdown where I sit and I talk about, the game frame by frame, play by play, quarter by quarter. We're not doing that today because the game spoke for itself. I mean, that ass whooping spoke for itself. I don't need to come here and tell you how we got raped 45-14. You saw it for yourself. So I'll let that speak for itself. What I will do, though, is come and talk to you about a few things that I need to get off my chest, and a couple of things that I feel like cost us the game last night, and kind of put a couple of things to rest, put a couple of things to bed, and move on. And this could have been a very divisive game for Redskins fans, because I could have easily come onto this program today and chastise Redskins fans for their actions over the last couple of weeks. But I'm not going to do that. We all family. I always say that. We're all family. If your blood is burgundy and gold like mine, then we're family. And so I'm not going to come here and point the finger and wag it at you in your face. But I will say this. Before I even get started, before I even jump into everything that I have to say, let me first congratulate the New York Giants for what they did. Because much like us, they had to play on Thursday. And they had to suit up. I can't speak to how tough and physical their game was against the Texans. I know ours was. It was very taxing on us. We came in with a lot of players on the injury report. 9 guys were questionable. And you could tell physically we weren't right. We weren't ready to play this football game. But give the Giants credit. I will not sit here and make any excuses. They came out and they absolutely took it to us from pillar to post. And they gave us some work. They gave us the business. And Eli Manning was sharp. We didn't get any pressure on them. I thought at least we were going to stop the run and force Eli to beat us. We didn't stop the run either. I mean, that was probably the most disappointing part of the defensive showing, was that they had a two-way goal. They could run it if they wanted to. They could pass it if they wanted to. And I knew they were going to have to take to the air. I knew Eli was going to try to dink and dunk us. I saw that last week. I saw the maturation of this offense. Knew they were going to try to come out and throw a lot of the short passes. What I didn't expect was us to give up the yards on the ground that we did and give up deep balls. Because we had to respect the run because we weren't stopping it. Guys, we were blitzing on. Guys didn't even know what the hell they were doing. And I'll get to that a little bit later on. But congratulations to the Giants on tearing us a new asshole. Okay? I already had one. I didn't need another one. But thanks anyway. I appreciate that. So, with that being said, the thing that was the most frustrating last night was we came out flat. We weren't prepared to play. We weren't ready to play a football game last night. And you could tell. Mentally, I heard Brian Orakpo say, man, I hate Thursday night games. That's cool. You can hate them all you want. You still got to play it. So go out and give it everything you got. And I felt like guys weren't mentally prepared. They weren't mentally sharp. And you already knew we weren't physically ready to play this game. We already knew that was a given. I asked the guys on the preview for this game, I asked them, just give me everything you got. Give me everything you got in the tank, and you got 11 days to rest. Give me everything you got for this one night, because I know it's going to be tough. It's a quick turnaround. Your body needs to rejuvenate, and it's not getting the full amount of time that it normally gets to replenish and go out and be able to play at a high level. I get it, but I still need it. I still need it for one night, and I didn't get it. And it wasn't the physical. The physical part of the game wasn't the part that frustrated me the most. I knew we weren't physically ready. I knew we were banged up. I knew that coming into the game. You know, as a coach, one of the things that you can accept is when you lose a game because the other team is physically superior to you. All right? And remember the movie Remember the Titans? Remember that movie? Remember when the cornerback couldn't keep up with the other team's wide receiver? Physically, there was a limitation there. Physically, he could not keep up with him. The mind, the body, the spirit were all willing, but he wasn't able to keep up with them. What did he do? He went to the coach. He said, Coach, put Petey in the game. Put Petey in. Petey can keep up with him. I can't. He said, well, I'm not going to give Petey your spot. You can go give Petey your spot. I'm not putting Petey in the game. He went and gave Petey his spot because there was a physical limitation there. All right? Last night, there were physical limitations with the Redskins. Physical limitations. I watched Jason Hatcher try to fight through a hamstring. He was not healthy. I watched Jason Hatcher fight through a hamstring injury. He was not 100%. He didn't even look close to the guy that was wreaking havoc the first 3 weeks of the season. Didn't look anything close, remotely close. I watched D-Jax have about 10 plays. He barely played last night. Barely played, did D-Jax. Tyler Columbus was out there. Look, 100% healthy Tyler Columbus is questionable at best. You give me a 75% Tyler Columbus, and hell, you might as well tell the quarterback, lay down right now. Lay down. Because you're going to get laid down anyway. So, we were all banged up, man. We were all banged up all over the place. So, I watched guys try to give it everything they had. I watched the Orakpo out there with one hand, man. I watched guys out there giving it all they had, but it wasn't enough. There were physical limitations. But that wasn't the part that made me upset. The part that frustrated me the most was the mental mistakes, and those are the ones that piss me off. Those are the ones I can't accept. As a coach, when you make physical mistakes, you can live with those. The mental mistakes are the ones that are avoidable and the ones that can't be tolerated. Those are the ones that get under my skin. And we made a lot of mental mistakes last night. How many times did you see us blitz, guys not know where they're supposed to be? How many times did you see E.J. Biggers? I'm supposed to be in coverage. 36 yards giving up to Victor Cruz. How many times were we blitzing and guys not in the right places? Guys playing outside technique. Somebody's supposed to be on the inside. Nobody there. Easy touchdown for Larry Donnell. How many times did we see mental mistakes from this defense? David Amerson in coverage. Never looking for the football. Mental mistakes. Kirk Cousins throwing pick after pick after pick. And that's the part that pissed me off the most with Kirk Cousins. Is that Kirk Cousins didn't make physical mistakes. These weren't throws that, oh man, he didn't have enough arm strength or he didn't anticipate. These were throws. He saw the defenders there. He saw guys in the way. And he elected to make throws anyway. And he made bad decisions and bad throws. These were mental mistakes. And this is why I told you, I never jumped on the Kirk Cousins bandwagon. I never jumped on. And shame on you for all of you out there that were waiting for Kirk to... Look, I expect that from people outside of the Redskins camp. If you're not a Redskins fan, you don't like Robert Griffin III. And I get it. Because if I wasn't a Redskins fan, I wouldn't like him either. Who wants to turn on their television set and see a guy talking about all in for week 1? Who wants to turn on their television set and see a guy promoting and pushing off Gatorade? Who wants to see a guy on the television set pushing off Subway subs and you haven't done anything in your career yet? Who wants to see that? Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to be force-fed a player all the time. So I get it. I understand why people don't like Robert Griffin III, but that's our quarterback. That's not their quarterback. So they get an opportunity to not like him. They have a license to do that. But you of all people as Redskins fans should know better. And I tried to tell people, and I had to explain myself. And I almost felt silly for even explaining myself to those who wanted to know. But I said, you know what? I'm going to explain, I'm going to drop a little knowledge in a gem on a couple of these guys' melons. And explain to them what I mean. I said, Kirk Cousins' ceiling is right here. I can see it. I know where his ceiling is. I know Kirk Cousins as a football player. They said, what are you talking about, man? You don't know Kirk Cousins. I do know Kirk Cousins. I told you that Robert Griffin III, we can't even see the ceiling for him. Yes, he's going to make some mistakes. Yes, he has a lot of growing to do as a football player. Yes, he has a lot of growing to do as a pocket passer. But those are all things that come with experience, which he needs to get more of, and he needs to stay healthy to do that. But don't think for 1 second that Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Robert Griffin III. And I keep trying to tell people that he's a better pocket passer than Robert Griffin III. But that's it. That's the extent of where he's better than Robert. And one thing I can assure you of, you go look at any game you want. Robert's not throwing 4 interceptions in any game. I'm telling you that right now. Everybody wants to beat Robert up for the season he had last year. Robert was 16 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, okay? Let Kirk Cousins play for a full 16-game slate. See how many interceptions he got. I guarantee you he throws more interceptions than he does touchdowns. I'm just telling you. Don't kill the messenger. I'm just telling you. Y'all want to beat Robert up and y'all want to talk this and that. Look, at the end of the day, we made an investment. And I feel like if we're patient enough, and of course Robert has to do his part and stay healthy, but if we wait long enough and we're patient enough, that investment will pay off. But last night, the most frustrating part about the loss was the mental side of things. Kirk Cousins, he made mental mistake after mental mistake after mental mistake after mental mistake. Guys on the defensive side of football made mental mistakes all night long. Keenan Robinson, out of position. Perry Riley Jr., not looking for the football. David Emerson, not looking. I expect that from Rashard Breeland. Vitamin B, first game starting. I expect him to get lost in space sometimes. And the officials didn't do it. I thought the officiating was terrible last night. I thought the officiating was horrendous. But that's no here nor there. When you get your ass whooped by 31 points, don't try to blame the officials. When you lose by 7, then you can call the officials out. When you lose by 31, you got your ass handed to you on a goddamn silver platter. So don't talk to me about the officials. But they weren't that good last night either. But at the end of the day, the biggest problem with this football team right now, and in this game, the Giants aren't 31 points better than us. We all know that. We were physically unable to perform at a high level in this game. And we paid for it. But the part that frustrated me the most was the mental mistakes. These are avoidable. You know when you have 11 penalties in a game and 7 of them are pre-snap penalties, that's frustrating. You know why? Pre-snap penalties are all mental, never physical. You can understand the holding penalty. You get the hands to the face penalty. Those happen. Those are physical mistakes. Your hand started here and it slid up here. Oh man, what can you do? You know, you go to tackle a guy, he's running away from you. The only thing you can do is reach out and grab his horse collar and pull him down. Hey, you stopped him from scoring a touchdown. What can you do? That's a physical mistake. The mental ones are the ones that kill you. You line up wrong. You're not on the line of scrimmage. You get a illegal formation penalty that wipes out a touchdown. That's a mental mistake. That's avoidable. You lined up. You can't move. You jump false start. That's a mental mistake. It takes focus, man. Focus, man. To not make mental mistakes. We didn't have any focus. Andre Roberts calling for a fair catch with no giant 10 yards around. No giant 10 yards in sight. He's calling for a fair catch. We weren't ready to play. We weren't ready to play. D-Jax, second possession of the game. We throw him a wide receiver screen. If he catches it, he's got space. Drops the damn football. Mental mistake. We're not ready to play. We were not ready to play in this game. And it wasn't just physical. Mentally, we were not sharp. Guys making mistakes all over the field, not taking advantage of opportunities. We got the Giants in third down all night long, can't get off the field. mental mistakes. We're blitzing all over the place, but guys don't know where they're supposed to be. Guys don't know where they're supposed to be. It was a travesty. That game was absolutely heart and gut-wrenching to watch. Because that was one of the worst performances I've seen out of this team in a long time. And I've seen some bad performances from this team. And that, because all the other performances, I could look at our team and say, we're not that good. Physically, we're not as good as the opposition, as the opponent. They're better than us. There's nothing you can do about that. When the team is superior to you athletically, and they're better coached, and they're more prepared to play, then they win. They win. But that's not the case anymore. Talent-wise, I've already said it, I'm not moving off this spot. Talent-wise, I think we've got the best roster, top to bottom, in this entire division. If we can stay healthy, if is a huge word. What if my head was turned backwards? What if? It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if guys aren't healthy, if we're making mental mistakes, none of that matters. You're going to lose the football game. Smart football players win games. Smart football players. A wise man once told me, the next time I draft a dumb football player, somebody hit me over the head. Because dumb guys get you fired. Give me the guy that'll give me everything he's got and he's a smart football player over the guy that's extremely athletic and talented, but dumb as rocks. Dumb as a box of rocks. Don't give me that guy. Because he'll get you in trouble every single time. Give me this. That's why I used to say, you guys used to kill Reed Dowdy. Reed Dowdy was a smart football player. You know, physical limitations, sure. Reed Dowdy wasn't the most athletic guy, wasn't the most athletically gifted football player. But Reed Dowdy was where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be there. Give me that guy 10 times out of 10 over the guy like Bakari Rambo. That's never where he's supposed to be, but way more athletically gifted. Give me the smart football player. I know he'll be where I tell him to be. And last night, nobody on the football team was smart. Nobody. Nobody was smart. And what did I tell you? We got to leave the young fellas at home. As soon as they put Ryan Grant in the game, what did he do? Not ready. I told you, leave the young boys at home for matchups like this. This was a double whammy. This was prime time and it was family business. Leave the young boys at home. Bring the tandem man up. Ryan Grant runs a stop. The corner's right there. You got to fight for that football. You're supposed to come back for the football anyhow. He didn't even move. He didn't even move. He stood there and waited for the football and the cornerback came and took the ball. That was a poor throw. It was a terrible throw, but he didn't fight for it. And that's what I'm talking about. Leave the young boys at home. Well, we took it on the chin, man. It's not much more for me to say. I know this much. I'm glad that we took this ass whooping. And you know, the easiest way to have a new asshole torn where there wasn't one before is to have injuries and to turn the football over. You turn the football over 6 times, what the hell do you expect to happen? 31 points off of 6 Redskins turnovers. Enough said. Enough said. So all I want to say now is that I'm leaving off of this note. I'm leaving off of this note. For all of you who want to see Kirk Cousins as the roster Redskins starting quarterback moving here on out, good luck with that one, man. I hope this one puts that to bed. Because I know I sure as hell tucked his ass in nice and neat inside the bed and I gave him a nice little kiss on his forehead and I put his ass to sleep last night. I don't know about you. You can sit there with your nonsense because I never committed to Kirk Cousins. I told you when Robert was ready, if this team was not playing outstanding football, and when I say outstanding, I mean we needed to be 6-3 when Robert was ready to come back. We're not winning 5 games in a row. Hell, we might get our ass beat worse than we did on Thursday next Monday. Who's to say? I don't know. Maybe a little bit of time and an opportunity to lick our wounds and maybe we'll be a little bit mentally sharper. Who knows? But right now, the team that I saw on the field on Thursday, no way they're beating the defending Super Bowl champions. So we're 0-6 on primetime in our last 6 games, including 4 losses at home. So I'm almost at the point now where I'm like, hey, I don't want no more, man. Please don't hit me again. No, I don't want to be hit again. Don't put me on primetime television no more. We don't deserve it. I am a Redskin. My Redskin spirit will never die. My Redskin spirit will never go. Until we meet again, hail to our beloved Redskins. Yeah, we got our ass whooped. And we deserve that. We deserve that because I think this ass whooping was more for the fans than the players. You know, players took this one on the chin. They're going to keep it moving. For the fans, they needed this one because they were drinking that Kirk Cousins Kool-Aid. They were drinking it hard, man. They were sipping it too damn hard. And you really needed to choke on that Kirk Cousins Kool-Aid. Put the damn cup down, man. Put the cup down. Don't have another. See you next time. The Redskins Report.